I'm almost there. So
Yeah.
it's this feeling of being almost done is actually pushing me forward better.
When you don't have a goal in mind, that just takes you to places that you've never expected or things that you've never tried, and then you end up enjoying it better. But out of curiosity, I know you've became the president of MSCube at some point in your undergrad. Was that something that was always planned? Like, were you always interested in leadership roles, or did that also just come more naturally during your undergraduate?
I think one of the most important parts that did kind of evolve is trying to find better way to value yourself. Pretty much for the entire internship duration, I had a cat with me.
Hey guys, welcome back to another podcast with It's K to Be Karen, and today we have Mykyta, and he's in his last year of math and computer science for his honors program, and I'm really grateful for him to spend a little bit of his time here with us. And yeah, so before we even delve into our conversations, we're going to let Mykyta kind of describe himself, and while he does that, I'm going to be comfy and I'm going to put my feet up. Okay.
All right. My name is Mykyta, and I am currently in my last year, as you said, doing math and computer science. I kind of wanted to do physics as well, but there's only so much double degrees you can make. And I have completed my CSPIP internship last year, so that was 16 months. And I'm still working for that company, so it's gone pretty well. And yeah, this is my last year, and I'm hoping to graduate in May.
Okay, yeah, that's sweet. That's very ambitious. But no, tell me, how is life? If like you had to maybe describe your life in a word, like your whole life of where you're currently at, how would you describe that?
I'm
It's a
not
hard
sure.
one. Yeah.
It's a tricky question. I would say it's a life of transition, life of balance, life of that's a lot. That's more than one word. No,
Yeah.
sorry about
So
that.
balance, I think. We'll just say it's a balance.
It's a balance.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a balance, especially since I do like to travel a lot, and often that means I have to miss out on some classes and catch up on those classes, and then come back to do the assignments. And also balancing the different responsibilities, because I have to lead the research project that is mostly self-driven for the honors thesis, and as well as doing all the homework and doing the part-time job. So it takes a lot of balancing between these three and more things.
Do you ever feel like, because you've done so many things, like you've been the president of MSCube, you've done a lot of research, you've done your internship, you're obviously doing really well in your honors program, I suppose. Do you ever feel like there's a weight on your shoulder? Or do you ever feel like you have to kind of prove yourself sometimes, and, some of the days you don't feel like you're doing your best? Do you ever kind of feel yourself in that kind of situation? And how do you kind of navigate through this?
Yeah, for sure. Even if in my final degree of math, I'm still often struggling in one of my calculus classes. It's a lot of homework, lots of memorization. So I often feel like, oh, this is so difficult. Why did I choose math? But at the same time, it's pretty interesting, and I'm almost there. So
Yeah.
it's this feeling of being almost done is actually pushing me forward better, because if it was my third year or fourth year, I would be like, oh, there's still so much to go.
Yeah.
But now I'm being more propelled forward on that momentum, trying to see the goal and get to it. So I'm feeling quite better.
Yeah, you're almost there. Just like a little bit more of that part of the race, and you're almost there. But was computer science and math kind of something you always wanted to do? Because I know you mentioned a little bit about physics, right? So ever since you finished high school, was it always the plan that you wanted to go into math and computer science, or did that come naturally along your way when you were getting into university?
That kind of came naturally. Ever since probably even before high school, I went to school in a different country, and then there physics and math were more um, higher level than here, and I was really enjoying math and physics, but there wasn't much computer science. I had to study that on my own.
Right.
So I was quite excited to get that missing computer science piece at the university, but then still keep some of that physics and math. So I just combined the two in math. I kind of wish sometimes I went into physics, engineering, and I'm still like, oh, so much missed potential. But I feel like there's um, good things and projects to be done in computer science and math, and I can use that power, what I've learned, to move forward rather than looking back and thinking, oh, maybe I should have gone into geology or something.
Oh wow, it's like a new sector almost.
Yeah.
But it's good. Like you're always like exploring, you're finding different ways to kind of explore. But then for your like graduate program, like your grad school, do you then plan to go into like physics, or do you plan to not go into grad school, or do you plan to go into math or comp sci?
For now my plan would be to probably go back and go working full-time, because that provides a good financial basis for all my future plans and travels. And I'm still not quite sure where I'm going after university. So I think that would be good. If I'm doing graduate studies, I'd probably take a gap year for that.
Yeah.
And then we'll see. I would probably do graduate studies in computer science because that feels to me a bit more applicable than mathematics. I do love the like pure mathematics where it's all puzzles and proofs and tricky questions, but it's a bit harder for me to see the practical value of it.
Right.
And that's kind of important when you want to get funding. But I do like computer science because you can often see what you've done. Any kind of program, you can type it up on your computer and then you see the results and they look very nice. And I like that kind of thing.
I think that's the beauty of it, right? Like the unpredictable nature of it almost. It's kind of like you're done with university. You're kind of out there in the real world, and it's that unpredictable nature of it that makes you want to explore different things as well. Does the idea of unpredictability ever make you feel uncomfortable?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's quite strange.
Yeah.
On one hand, I feel like it's predictable in the sense that I can choose my path. So while there's many paths, I can choose the one I go on, like the degree I go into or the graduate studies or the job. But at the same time, I'm not entirely sure where life would take me, and that would be like this probability, so many possibilities. And maybe I don't know what to choose. Maybe sometimes it's like kind of random. Like,
usually like when I ask people about like what's their 5-year plan, a lot of people end up saying I don't know, because they actually don't know. Like sometimes when you don't have a goal in mind, that just takes you to places that you've never expected or things that you've never tried, and then you end up enjoying it better. But out of curiosity, I know you've became the president of MSQ at some point in your undergrad. Was that something that was always planned? Like, were you always interested in leadership roles, or did that also just come more naturally during your undergraduate program?
Oh yeah, I'm kind of drawn to those backstage roles. Maybe not necessarily leadership at first, but I do like being behind the scenes and organizing things. Every time I go on an event, maybe even in like computer science or math, or a completely different, maybe artistic event, I'm like, oh, what if I help them to set up? What if I help advertise or like help to run the event in some way? And I'm always drawn to that feeling of being backstage, being in control of everything's going well. That kind of pushed me into mathematics, and being part of the Mathematics and Statistics Student Society. It was also blew me away because I discovered a bunch of people that enjoy math as much as I do,
Right.
as opposed to having to take math as a class that you have to take to pass the graduate. So that was quite an interesting turn.
Yeah.
Because
You have a
you
valid.
don't often find these people, not in high school or something. In high school, everyone hates math.
So true. Yeah. No, I had Sean. I don't know if you know, like Sean was also here in the podcast, and he was also, I think, a president before you, I think. And he had very similar words, right? Because the idea of presidency came very naturally to him. It was not something that was planned, right? So what do you feel though? Do you feel like everybody, like for once in their undergraduate like program, do you feel like they should all at least once try to be in a leadership role? What's your take on that? Like, what do you feel?
I think so. Even if there's only so many president roles available, I suppose, but getting into those executive positions for different clubs is a really good experience, because then you can kind of peek behind the scenes and get that experience in your resume sometimes, where you can say, oh, I help organize events. I can budget money for student group. These are pretty useful skills to have. And it also helps you build a bit of more of a sense of purpose, because when you wake up every week and the only reason you go to university is to go to the class, it's quite a bit harder than when you have a event you're excited to go to, and you're actually, yes, I'm going to this event, and I'm going to organize it, so I have to be there. So that gives you more purpose to be on campus and to engage, just beyond the classes that you kind of have to take.
That's true. And also, like, I feel like filling up that president's role sometimes, not for, well, it's different for every social club, right? Some social clubs are not as active. So if you were a president for those social clubs, there might not be as many duties and responsibilities compared to that one that's a bit more active, right? Like the ones that you've been working in. So as a president, when you have that huge shoe to kind of fill in, do you ever like fear that you have challenges to face, or have you ever failed in something? And that doesn't have to be you as a president. It could be you as a student, or you as a person. Do you ever feel like you've gone through a situation like that?
Yeah. It is sometimes tricky, especially when there's midterms and exams, but you still have to run the events and continue with the social commitments that you made. Sometimes you just have to run an event short notice. You run out of time to book a room. You have to figure out where to go for that, and maybe you don't have enough events planned, so you have to fit in a small event, maybe a smaller games night or something. So there's often points of failure, but you can catch yourself and get a better grip on it before it's
too late.
Yeah, before it's too late.
Yeah, that's fair. Yep. And then when you were in your undergraduate program and you finally went into your internship, for example, what made you step into your internship? Because you're doing math and comp sci, right? Like, how did you plan to go into like a comp sci internship? What made you step foot into that door?
It was going into the internship was pretty important to me because I wanted to experience the industry part of computer science. Because I was still on the fence between graduate studies and working in a company, for example. So this was kind of an opportunity for me to try both, as I did a few research over the summer. And this time I got a chance to do the worksite experience. And I think that really helped me figure out that, yes, I kind of enjoy being in working in a company and working on a project together. and sometimes maintaining very large software that existed before, sometimes writing new pieces of software. And both are pretty important for these kind of large projects.
Yeah, and I think you're very lucky, right? Because you get the best of the both worlds. Like you've got your research and you've also got your industrial experience, which is very rare. You know, usually a lot of undergraduate students will experience either one or they don't experience either. And when they're done with university, they're kind of pushed into that outer real life world and they have to figure things out themselves, right? But now when you look back at your internship and you look at your growth, you look at your development, apart from that technical skills, what are the maybe 3 things that you think you've evolved in?
Evolved in?
Yeah, like for example, let's say you feel like you've had a growth in your social skills or you've had growth in your communication skills. You know, I feel like a lot of people before their internship, they find it quite difficult to kind of explain the problem they're working at hand. You know, that might be one thing you've developed, or I don't know, maybe you've learned how to develop your skills in team collaboration. I don't know. What do you think those 3 top skills are that you've evolved or what you think you've grown in?
I think one of the most important parts that I did kind of evolve is trying to find better way to value yourself and be happy where you are. Because in academics, you often look at your grades and like, oh, did I study enough for this quiz? I should have studied more. Or maybe my research isn't as interesting, or people don't quite understand it, so I did a bad job of presenting it. And that kind of thing does exist at the job as well, but there it's the other people's job to figure out if you're doing well or not, but you don't have to worry about it as much.
Right.
And then the question becomes, how do I know if I'm doing good, or maybe if I'm doing enough? And I feel like that answered a lot of questions for me, and that helped me enjoy life more outside of academics, or getting a good grade. That's a good feeling, but try to explore other ways to get a good feeling. I got a cat. So pretty much for the entire internship duration, I had a cat with me, and
Is it a new
she still
cat?
lives with me.
Is it a new cat?
Yeah, I got her like 1.5 years ago when I started the internship.
Nice.
So we kind of went through it together, almost, and that made me quite a bunch happier as well. So exploring the different possibilities, maybe where I want to travel, because working means I have a more flexible vacation schedule,
Right.
so I can take a couple of vacation days off whenever I want to. So maybe thinking about that, maybe like, where do I want to go that would give me a nice feeling, or excite me to continue going, because unlike in university where there's always a sequence of classes that you take, you kind of progress towards something.
Sure.
When you're working on the job, there's not always a sequence of clear progression, because often you close one project, you start another, and then you're done with that one, you get reassigned to a different project. So a continuous cycle, and you often find different pathways to progress in outside of work.
Right.
The other thing I picked up was dancing, so I started to learn how to dance and get more practice into it, and I really enjoyed that.
What specific type of dancing are you into?
It's mostly freestyle dancing. And I often learned using the help of a VR headset, because there's some classes that are scheduled regularly that I could attend. And then that also helped me a lot to feel better, because I'm progressing in this area, and I got a cat and all these different travels, adventures. So it kind of helps you find more to do in your free time,
Right.
especially since you don't have to worry about schoolwork outside of your work time. Like for university, sure, you're done classes, but then you have to worry about 3 assignments that are coming up next week.
10 midterms that's coming consecutively.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Like maybe I should be studying my notes right now. But I guess if you're working full time and then the work day is over, you don't really have to worry about work as much anymore. It's not much you can do. You can worry about it, but what you should really do is come back tomorrow and work on it. So instead of worrying as much, you can go and spend that free time somewhere else and maybe enjoy better because you don't have as much stress of looming deadline assignments.
Right. I don't know how much I can ask, but like on a high level, if you had to describe like a day in the life of you being a software engineer in the company you work in, how would you describe it? But you can be as high level and say what you can say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my internship was work from home remotely. So
did you ever go to the office though?
I did go to the office a few times because I needed to pick up hardware, and there were some like community meetings. And I think when I come back to full time, the upcoming year, I would also be going to office a lot more for just working in the office. But yeah, typical day, I would wake up, get into, have some breakfast and log into work. Often we would have a team meeting early in the morning.
Like a stand-up meeting.
Yeah, like a stand-up meeting at like 9 a.m. So I have to be there for that. And we discuss what we're going to do today, what we've done the day prior. And then we would get into work and I would work away, try to enter the state of flow, especially when coding. It's often very nice when you can enter that state, that the time passes by quickly.
I agree.
And you get work done. Sometimes it's a lot more tricky when maybe you didn't get enough sleep the night before, so it's harder to concentrate on the problem. But yeah, and then after 4:30 p.m., that's roughly when I worked. I'd be done work and I could cook some dinner, and I also often cooked some lunch on the spot because if you're at home, you can use your kitchen for lunch, and that's very nice because then you don't have to worry about packing things ahead of time. And then probably my cat would bug me at the computer like 3 to 5 times a day.
Does she like coding as well? Is it a he or she?
She.
Okay.
She. I'm not sure if she liked coding, but she often sat in on the meetings because there were people moving around on the camera, and she liked to watch them.
So she just like wiggled her tail or something.
Yeah, she likes to stand right in front of my screen and blocking everything.
Oh, nice. We love that.
Yeah, especially if she's hungry, she's gonna be like, nope, no more work for you. You gotta feed me.
Right. Yeah. What are like maybe 3 things that you absolutely love about your job, or maybe that one thing as well?
I really like the feeling of finally getting it. Like when you're first an intern at a big company and there's some really huge legacy systems in place, it can be pretty overwhelming to figure out what is where, and sift through the documentation, find out how it functions and how it all puts together. But I did find that like getting tasks done with the system and slowly getting to learn it is pretty rewarding. Like, especially if you can finally, at the point, maybe a couple of months in, when you can finally like comprehend the entire system, like kind of like, oh, the problem is in this part of software and this part of code. It's really rewarding to like build up to that moment
Yeah.
and
To finally get a
see the bird's view of the project.
Yeah.
And I find that a pretty good feeling. And now when I start a new project, I don't feel as bad when it's so overwhelming, because I know that, okay, I just need to be patient.
Yeah, eventually
I'll get to that bird view outlook. And I will see it in a new lens. I'll understand it. Maybe not the whole thing. It's huge, but I would know where everything is and where to search for answers when I need them.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite spot then that you really like to sit when you're studying in the university? A favorite spot?
Ooh, at the university.
But mind you, this is going on the internet, so everyone might bug you.
Oh no.
Yeah, I have to be careful.
Okay, there's a very nice spot in the north wing of the Murr Library on the 3rd floor. I like that place. It's quiet, and it has tables that are usually open and available. So don't take too many of them.
Maybe now they're coming. They're coming for you.
Oh, okay. Well, if you see me, you can't have a chat because it's a quiet wing of the library. So at least I'm.
I have a friend. I won't name her, but she really likes the Murray Library too, and she loves the North Wing. I usually don't step in there because I don't like the Murray Library all that much because it's a huge one and you really bump into a lot of people. I'm more of like the science library girly because it's very quiet. And funny thing is, like, I go on the 3rd floor in the science library. I always bump into Sean, but I don't say hi because he's working, right? So he's always like 2 tables in front of me. I don't think he's ever known this. So now he knows if he's watching this. Like when he came to the podcast, I didn't even tell him. So probably now he knows. Whoops.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no. Yeah. Oh, whoops. Well, what's your favorite thing in the city? What do you like to do in the city?
Oh, in the city? I'm not sure, but I'd say I'm quite fond of the cat cafe downtown.
You've been there?
I've been there a few times.
There's a lot of cats.
I know.
I've passed by it once. I'm like, oh, there's too many cats. Like, I can't do too many cats. No.
Yeah, it's very fun. I mean, it was more fun before I already had a cat at home.
Now you have one.
Now I have a cat at home, so I'm like, okay, it's too much cat now.
Yeah. How old is your cat?
I think she's now 2 years old.
So. Okay. Do cats have breeds or no? Or they're the same thing? I don't know.
I don't know, but she's just a black cat.
Okay, she's just a black cat. Now, any favorite spots to eat around the city? Like if you had to suggest one.
Spots to eat around the city?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't really go out that much, especially I don't drive. Right. I mostly just bus to school. Right. So most of the time I just spend on campus. Okay. I don't know. Okay. On campus recently, I did like was it called Extreme Pita? That place?
Oh, you like that?
I kind of
like the food court.
Yeah, in the food court.
No, I don't like.
Yeah, you don't like that. No. I'm like exploring new options. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm going one by one. So
yeah, that's funny.
But if you want something better, probably go outside of the food court on campus.
Yeah, I agree. Have you tried the Midtown food court? They have quite a. Well, actually, maybe I shouldn't even say because I don't think I've eaten anything at the food court there.
Oh yeah. I've been there. I don't quite remember how many food places they got, but
yeah, me too. Actually, yeah, I'm the last person to ask. Well, anyways, there's like a really good bakery. So I was gonna write to and from. Like I forgot to do that, but this is from Mykyta Bakery. If you've been to Mykyta Bakery, it's a very cute little gift card. You can obviously go and say hi and like use the gift card and. I think you'll enjoy a lot of different bakeries there.
For sure. I do like a good bakery.
Do you? What's your favorite, bakery good that you would like to get?
Bakery good. Oh, my. I don't know. I do enjoy cookies. They're pretty good. But at a bakery, I often like savory buns. Like buns that have potatoes in them or maybe some...
that's new.
Ham. Those are interesting. Because
I've never seen a potato bun in a bakery. I've never seen it. Which bakery have you been going to?
I don't know. It's rare to see them, but it's more common like Ukrainian food. Like,
Oh, okay. Are you from Ukraine?
yes, yes.
I didn't know that. You should have told me that at the
Yeah,
beginning.
that's okay.
That's so cool.
But yeah, in Ukraine they're called pierogi. So
Right.
they're often meat and potatoes. So yeah, any bakery that has those is pretty good.
Is that your favorite Ukrainian dish then? Or do you
One
have
of my favorites.
What's
for
your
sure.
most favorite one?
Oh,
You can describe it. I want to know.
I do like the Ukrainian borscht soup.
Okay, I don't think I know. What's in a borscht soup?
It's mostly beets,
Okay.
as well as cabbage, lots of
Okay.
cabbage. So it's
I love cabbage.
yeah.
Like, you know how there's like a red and green cabbage? Do you know that?
Yeah.
Which one do you like the most? Or do you like both?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't really eat it on its own.
Oh, okay. You kind of like have it with cooked. Okay, I see.
Yeah. And the borscht just has this bright red color. It's
Nice.
It's quite intense. I like it. And goes very well with sour cream.
Right.
Well,
that sounds interesting. Yeah, soup with sour cream. So what, you put sour cream separately as a dip, or what do? You put it together?
Oh, no, you often add it on top of the soup.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, whoa, okay. And like, is there Ukrainian student groups in the university? Like, do you know?
Yes, there is a, I haven't been very active in them.
Okay.
But there's a Studenti U of S group that is for Ukrainian students. And speaking of food places in the city, I know there's a place called Baba's Pierogis, which is also a Ukrainian food place.
Right. Do you have a specific, like, a saying that kind of, that's something that you follow for yourself and you kind of want to kind of share that with other people? Like, for example, for myself, I have these two quotes that's always stuck in my brain. One being, if it's meant to be, it will happen. That's kind of what I feel. And the second thing's always, do something today that your future self will thank you for. You know, that's kind of the two things that's always stuck in my brain. And I kind of remind myself on my low days almost. Is there anything that you kind of remind yourself on your low days and you want other people to know about it so they feel motivated?
Yeah, I don't think it's really a quote, but I would say I often think of how do I make something sustainable, because often things aren't very sustainable, and it's good to have small changes. Like, I can't always have good sleep, but if I just sleep one extra hour every day, that could be a sustainable goal that I can continue forward with. Or maybe I need to research and read from my research, but I can't find time. Maybe I can add like 30 minutes every day of sustainable progress. And some of the more ambitious things can be less sustainable. For example, I could be interested in going like 5 club events every week.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, I'm going to sign up for all of these student societies and I'm going to go. But then I realized, hold on, maybe that's not super sustainable because that drains a lot of energy.
Overworking yourself.
It's overworking myself. You think it's fun. Like, you would go to these events, you enjoy yourself, you think, oh, this is fun. But then you realize on your like 3rd day, you're like, oh my gosh, this is exhausting. You have to make sure that you don't pick up too many things that would feel too tiring, and try to make a sustainable schedule for yourself. Maybe like 2 events a week, and then start from there and try to get the assignments done by Saturday, for example, and then keep that in your schedule.
Yeah, like balance and consistency almost, right? Like making sure you have that balance between social life and your academic life, but also being consistent, right? Like, as you said, doing that assignment every Saturday. Now, when I look back at my student life, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can be that consistent.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no, you have a valid point.
Yeah. Or maybe if you want to be packing lunches, maybe you manage to pack a sandwich like 4 times of the week, but the 5th one you just can't do it. You can just be kind to yourself and say, oh, that's okay. I can just take out something on the 5th day as a little reward. I don't have to be perfect. It's better to be sustainably like having that lunch half of the days rather than punishing yourself for not having it all of the days.
Right. Yeah, no, you have a very valid point. I don't think I've ever thought about it that way. You know, that sustainable aspect. Like, you really taught me something, because I honestly never thought about it that way. Wow, that's a new perspective that you kind of added to my brain now. That's nice. Okay, I'm just going to say thank you guys. Actually, thank you for being part of the podcast. I'm really glad that we've had this conversation. I feel like I've learned quite a lot about you. I didn't know that you were from Ukraine, so that's quite new. Yeah. And who knows, you might be here for season 2.
Oh,
Never
wow.
know. But no, before we end here today, I'm going to say that if you guys have any questions, any comments, you can leave it in the comment section below, and both of us will help to co-reply. And with that, we're just going to say bye.